Hello, and welcome to today's presentation on correlating Anthropocene ecosystems with Eocene ecosystems. My name is Daniel Moses. I'm a first-year PhD student in the Environmental Life Science program at Arizona State University. And I'm local around here since I grew up on this fossil site for so about 25 years at that standard. So to start with, from my last year, I was a master's student, so something changed. And just recently, I was accepted into the PhD program in the Environmental Life Science program at ASU. And I guess the question is, why the ELS program to begin with? So the Environmental Life Science program's big push in recent years has been to combine different fields of science, whether it's geology, biology, entomology, and correlate it together and basically combine it with like communities, governments to kind of figure out long-term solutions for possible different avenues of research that we may not consider. Whether or not this is taking different views from Native American point of view to how the government sees things, how locals in different communities may approach it. So, and to also correlate that with science in the same way. So based on that, this kind of inspired a new project idea. So going into it, under the previous botany program, I may not have been able to necessarily achieve this, but under the ELS program, I was inspired to approach a different idea. Also talking to Dr. Bruce Archibald, kind of formulated a different idea. So the project is correlating Stonerose's fossil sites ecosystem with the modern Congo-Confederate tribes ecosystems in the fauna and the flora. Because this has technically not been done necessarily before in a one-to-one comparison, and to kind of see what has changed over the past 49 to 52 million years, or to kind of see what, just to kind of get more information about what we're looking for. The other part of the project will also be housing specimens found on the reservation in a tribal herbarium after discovering that the colonists did have a herbarium with fossil samples to compare it from the native plants that are found on the reservation to the fossils found at the Stonerose Eocene fossil site. From this, I hope to eventually create a methodology for future tribes to make their own kind of system in that way, to understand why the fossils may be recognized as a natural resource, and to also allow a different way for possibly inspiring future tribes or Native Americans to go into this field as well. It also gives a way for scientists to work more efficiently with the tribes, and also gives a way for there to be less, I guess you could say, less issues and more cooperation in that regard as well. So like, for example, if we were to talk about, if we were to compare like the bird, for example, that we find here, versus the birds we found just even naturally around on the reservation. You can see there's some correlations. This is more of an extinct species of it. But there is some comparisons that we can kind of start to look at in that regard. So we take a look at the birch, dogwood, serviceberries, and the maples. You can start seeing some comparisons. So this is what I hope to do is eventually kind of show more of the comparisons, kind of seeing where we can look at and everything else. So to assemble this project idea, I needed to formulate a team, and one of these team members may actually be in the audience right now. And to start off with, I had to figure out people who could understand the scientific element of it, but can also understand the native and the tribal element of it as well. Because in order to make this work, we need cooperation from not only the scientific community, but also from the tribes that wish to either have fossil sites of their own or work in correlation with former fossil sites. So to start off with, I recruited Dr. Melissa Nelson. She is an indigenous ecologist, a writer and editor, has a PhD in ecology, emphasis on physical philosophy and Native American environmental studies. She is a great addition for this team because she can kind of figure out how the tribal systems work and kind of forward about what we can do in the future on our project, either we can do programs or something else. Dr. Stephen Simpson, he is Joe, he is seriously, he is a pioneer of an ethnogeologist. Basically, they take tribal stories, and also because for a long time, a lot of geologists may look at his point of view for stories or creation or anything, or how they view the geological world and dismissed it. But his research was more focused on incorporating that story as a part of saying, well, there might be truth to it, and basically saying that it should be at least a little bit of a basis for what we kind of look at when we research. He also did a lot of work with the Dene or the Navajo Nation as well. And basically, like I said, his focus is more on the geology of it, but as a little joke, he also works on like a lot of the Mars rover projects, for example. Elizabeth Makins, or Liz, as she likes to be referred to, is the collection manager at the ASU Herbarium. Basically does a lot of duties in regards to photographing, managing herbarium resources. She's a great addition for this team, mostly because she knows how herbarium should run in the modern era. She knows how to kind of manage it and knows what kind of resources needed to kind of keep it going. So we want to correlate it with fossil samples in regards to the herbarium. She kind of would have an idea about what we need to do in that regard. And all three of these people really wish to come up here and take a look at the tribal ecosystem and Stonerose's fossil collection. Well, just because they view that is very important, and they're just really curious about what is going on here, and kind of really is excited about what's happening. And the fourth member of my committee, if you can take a guess, does anyone have any guesses who this other person in the picture might be? Well, just in case, maybe you're wrong. It is not Johnny Winters. It is, in fact, our very own Dr. Bruce Archer. With his extensive knowledge working with the northern Okanagan tribes, tribal relations with fossils and paleontology, he is a great addition to this work as well, just because, and also a personal tutor. And for him, I made a comment that he is going to be my committee member because he's the one that knows the most about this style of formation of fossils. The other three are great, but until they get up here and start listening, then Bruce will be the field committee member in this regard. So, in that regard, I'm doing a presentation. Is there any questions about my current project or anything else?
No, before I plug you.